tokenization is a effort that is done purposely by Hollywood. I've told y'all many times before, Hollywood does not hire anybody or do open casting for roles. That's not how it works. Even in a open casting, there's going to always be parameters that are going to be set for the people that they want in the like in that role, right? So if they'll say, hey, they're looking for someone around this height or roughly this height. Let me get that going back. Let's say roughly this height, race or whatever. And not to say that every single role that they feel like does the race thing as far as saying that be what they are looking for. However, they have no problem doing that, especially with the boxes that they're looking to check. They can't, I don't know if you guys have seen some of these even awards that a lot of these guys are eligible for. You can't be eligible for those awards unless you have X amount of people that look a certain way or a certain gender or a certain sexuality that are working for your deal. So even more so than before, Hollywood is in the business of checking boxes. That's just how it is that they operate. And anything else or saying anything else aside from that is a straight up gaslight. It's a gaslight, and there's no sense in like pretending otherwise. Let me pull this up real quick because I have a tweet that I'm going to show you guys that really shows exactly what it is that I'm speaking about. But I just want you to keep that in mind for those of you that say, hey, I like this actor. I like this actress. That's irrelevant. This whole best person for the job has nothing to do with that, and they don't get hired based upon that, especially when you see folks that are already created, characters that we've already seen. They're in comic books, they're in other visual media and mediums, whatever, the very descriptive mediums or whatever. We've seen that. So if there is some like big change, you best believe Hollywood does it purposefully. They do not do it without that purpose, okay? With that being said, the folks that weirdos have been, like weirdos in Hollywood that have catered to weirdos on like Twitter and TikTok, these folks only like this stuff out of spite. I told y'all they do this stuff out of spite. These folks aren't generally supportive of a lot of this work. You've seen a lot of some material is like hit and miss with them because it's a very flaky audience, right? They'll come out in droves to support something, and then other things are dead on arrival, and they don't come out and get support. Though they have all these stand counts that are based upon this. Birds of Prey is an example of this. Got tokenized Black Canary in that. And they, by the way, that was a purposeful casting. I don't know if you guys remember, we covered the casting call for that, and they specifically were looking for a biracial person to play that role. Nonetheless, you have that as an example where people don't come out and support it of it in droves like you expect them to because they're not really paying customers. They like this stuff because of who it makes angry, period. This has almost 70,000 likes. I don't know how many of those actually real people, considering that this person doesn't even have that many followers. Last time I checked, it only have 290 followers. Man, come on, bro. There's a lot of, I want to see the bot data for this company, but I can for sure believe that there's a lot of stupid people that create stan accounts and all that stuff as well. I don't care how much you like this actor. It's a waste of a role if you're going to have him play Professor X. However, he's taking this picture and he says, white folks would riot. Please let this happen. So it's essentially makes white people mad. Therefore, this should be a thing. They do this stuff because they know it gets under folks' skins. This is why I'm telling y'all to just leave it, just leave it alone. Like crack smokers control it, and it's crack smokers that they are appealing to. Spiteful folks that only like this stuff because of who they know don't like it. That's it. And that's cool. If that's what they're going to have, they're going to have it. So folks, of course, going to run with this lie. Well, Civil Rights Act, it was based on or Civil Rights era, and that's what the X-Men were based on. Malcolm X is supposed to be Malcolm X is supposed to be Magneto, and Professor X is supposed to be Martin Luther King Jr. That is one of the biggest lies in comics. I've debunked that top to bottom using Stan Lee's own fucking words. You can go watch my old videos. I have a video titled like X-Men and the Social Justice Myth. It is a complete lie that Stan Lee created them to be depictions of, let's say, Professor X and Malcolm X. That is not true. He's explicitly stated that he never did that. He's never created X-Men to fight social justice or anything or racial injustice. He never did that. That was a lie that started to gain ground when the X-Men movie started to come out. This is why there's no coverage or anything of Stan Lee making that for 40 fucking years, making that connection between those characters. That never was a thing until, again, those movies basically came out. And even so, Magneto, for 20 years, basically, Magneto was just an evil villain. That's it. He was a supremacist in that sense. If you want to say that was what Malcolm X was, then you saying some fucked up things about Malcolm X if you consider what Magneto was. That whole retcon of him even having the connection to Nazi Germany was exactly that. It was a retcon. That happened during Claremont's era. That was not Stan Lee's depiction of the X-Men. That was Claremont's era. That was in the 80s. That means that there was no connection there for what, almost 20 years? That was a retcon. A lot of people don't know that was a retcon. That did not happen before. Nonetheless, it's a waste of a decent actor that y'all may like to put him in a role and get in the sloppy seconds of some white character. But let them have it. They're going to do that probably anyway, so just let them do it. And laugh at them, make fun of them. And then we just showed them how exactly to do that, because apparently creating original characters is just so fucking difficult. These guys suck, man. But on a serious note, they like this stuff out of spite. They don't actually like this stuff. But that's who Hollywood is appealing to, so let them appeal to and let them run themselves in the ground. Yo, I appreciate you as always. And if you're into comics or want to get into them, go visit Rippaverse.com, where you can check out my own comic book company, Rippaverse Publishing. Our first book, ISOM #1, is currently up for pre-order right now. You can also check out the company trailer and the ISOM campaign trailer so that you can make an informed purchase. We've cleared over $3.3 million in sales, and many of our supporters are viewers just like yourselves. And because of that, I have to thank you all personally. I do appreciate you. I can't wait for you to learn more about ISOM himself and already fan favorite Yaira. We ship internationally, so no matter what side of the globe you're on, we'd love to have you as a customer. Much love and big thanks.